If you work in a publicly traded company, you're living in a world that's much more complex than it seems. On the surface, everything might seem like business as usual, but behind the scenes, that's where the real action is happening. And if you're not paying attention, you could be caught in the crossfire. Today, I'm going to reveal 3 things you absolutely need to be aware of. Secrets that can impact your career, your reputation, and your long-term future in ways you never imagined. Now you might be wondering, who am I to tell you all this? Well, I've spent years as a corporate lawyer, specializing in compliance investigations for some of the world's largest pharmaceutical and tech companies, and I've seen the hidden side of corporate life, the backdoor deals, the buried scandals, the desperate attempts to cover tracks. I've been there watching as the curtain is pulled back, and trust me, it's not pretty. I'm not here to scare you, but to share with you what most people don't even realize is happening around them. First, let's talk about something most people take for granted: your emails and devices. They're being monitored constantly. And here's the thing. In nearly every corporate investigation I've worked on, someone's entire fate came down to what was sitting in their email history. That quick exchange with a colleague you thought was harmless. It might be the very thing that tips the scales against you. Every word, every file, every chat, it's all there, waiting to be pulled up at the first sign of trouble. Think about that for a second. How many times have you hit send on an email without a second thought, only to realize later that you might have said too much? Second, your company-issued devices aren't just for work. Every single thing you do on them, whether it's emails, documents, or even personal messages, can be backed up to the cloud without you even realizing it. You delete a file thinking you've cleared your tracks? Think again. With forensic recovery, that file can be brought back from the dead, and I've seen it happen more times than I can count. I worked many cases where an employee deleted sensitive files from their laptop, confident that no one would ever know. They were wrong. Those files were retrieved in full and used to bring down not just them, but several others who were caught in the same web. When you're using a company device, your data isn't yours anymore. It's part of a much bigger puzzle, and once that puzzle starts coming together, it can't be stopped. Finally, here's something that shocks most people. Emails and electronic evidence can be stored for years, 5, 10, sometimes even longer. You think an email is long gone, buried in the digital graveyard? It's not. Companies have sophisticated systems for storing and archiving information, and when the time comes, those old messages can come back to haunt you in ways you never expected. I knew employees who thought they had deleted a critical email years ago. They were sure it was gone forever. What they didn't realize was that the company had it backed up, and when it surfaced during an investigation, that single email was the key piece of evidence that led to their downfall. So when you hit delete, don't assume it's gone. It's just hiding, waiting to be uncovered when the moment is right. To sum up, your emails and devices aren't as private as you think. The data on your company phone or laptop can live on in the cloud and be retrieved at any moment, and electronic evidence can be stored for years, long after you've forgotten about it. The digital footprint you leave behind can be your undoing if you're not careful. So here's my question for you. Could you withstand the scrutiny if someone went through every email, every file, and every piece of data tied to your name? Even if you've done nothing wrong, a poorly worded sentence can be enough to trigger an investigation. Are you ready for that? If you want to learn more about how companies use this evidence in investigations, stay tuned for the next episode. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Subscribe and hit the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next one.